Hi, I'm Stephanie with Stratus HR. I'm a business development consultant. I also am a co-organizer of 1 Million Cups Salt Lake, which is a group that supports entrepreneurs and small businesses, which, by the way, next week is Small Business Week. So Stratus HR, we deal not just with small businesses, we deal with companies of all scale. And a lot of times when I'm consulting with business owners or C-suite executives, there are common things that come up. And the advice that I want to give today is very simple advice, because a lot of times we think that we need to make things more complicated than what they are. I don't know about you, but that's how I am. So I want to just give you 5 pieces of information, 5 tips that can really make a difference for a company. Because if there's one thing that every company has in common, it's every company has a culture. Whether you're intentional about your culture or whether it just organically grew, there's things that can make a huge difference. And those 5 things are payroll, policy and procedures, getting back to employees in a timely manner, motivating your employees, or at least trying not to demotivate your employees. And the last one that I will touch on are benefits, if that's something that fits into a company's budget. So not to get into the nitty-gritty of all of these, but with payroll, the one thing you need to do is make sure that you get it right. You don't mess with people's time, you don't mess with people's money, and this one is a no-brainer. If you can't pay your employees on time and it's not accurate, that's the biggest way to kill motivation. The second, policies and procedures. I always suggest to companies, make sure that the policies that we are putting in place are those that are scalable solutions, and that those policies are spelled out, and that everybody knows at all time that you are going to hold to those policies. Employees like feeling secure, and they like knowing, and there's nothing worse than throwing something out that somebody doesn't know. So again, a great way to kill motivation is have policies that employees aren't aware of. The third one, getting back in a timely manner, whether it's an employee needing their paycheck stub, whether it's an employee needing to have information on benefits, or them just simply voicing concerns or opinions. Those are things that should always be taken seriously. When employees feel like they have a voice or they feel like they're being followed up with in a timely manner, it's going to really just solidify how important they are to that organization. And then motivation. Whether it's a startup, whether it's a large company, sometimes jobs and tasks get added on to employees. It's a very common thing, and there's many business owners that they've equally cleaned the toilets and, been the accountant. But you have to be really mindful that the jobs that you're having individuals do, that those are jobs that they want to do. And secondly, it's something that is part of their skill set and isn't a waste of productivity. Employees want to work on projects that are meaningful to them. And yes, not at all times employees get total autonomy to do whatever they want to do, but just make sure that you're not adding on jobs and tasks that are going to demotivate and eventually make them leave the company. And then the last one was benefits. This is one that if you are going to invest in benefits to recruit and retain, make sure that those benefits align with your culture and you're not just throwing something out there that people aren't going to want to utilize. So those are the 5 tips that I have. Again, keep it simple. Make sure that your payroll is accurate. Make sure that you have policies and procedures. You're following up with employees in a timely manner. You are finding ways to motivate and not adding demotivating tasks to your employees, and then offer benefits that are meaningful when you can. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a wonderful day.